to the Capital Discussions Roundtable. I'm Tom Aeromir with our guest Mike Cross from Option Workshop. Before we get started, just a quick disclaimer: the Capital Discussions is not a broker-dealer or an investment advisor. This presentation is for educational purposes only. We don't know your situation and have no way of knowing what level of risk is appropriate for you. We're not making any specific trade recommendations. The risk of loss in trading options can be substantial, so please be aware of all of your risks prior to placing any trades. Hypothetical computer-simulated trades are believed to be accurately represented. However, actual profit or loss may vary due to market factors such as liquidity, slippage, and commissions. So with that, Mike, welcome. This is the first time you've been on the roundtable. I guess the first time you've presented, period. So we're very pleased to have you here, and maybe just a short intro of who you are and what you do and what your software is about.
Sure thing. I'd love to introduce myself. My name is Mike Cross, and let me just tell you one or two things about myself, a few sentences. I've been involved in trading for about 10 years, and I've spent 4 years from 09 till about midway through 13 trading futures professionally for a proprietary firm in London. More recently, over the past 3 months, I've been involved with Option Workshop. They've been kind enough to introduce me to the world of options. So I've learned all about the Greeks and how options trade. But I have to say, I wouldn't call myself an options expert or a veteran by any means. But it's okay because I'm here to talk about the software we have. And I'm just going to have an introduction, and I'd like to just start talking about the software, if that's okay. All right?
Sure. Yep. A few people are saying your volume's a little low, so maybe if you can get a little closer to the microphone, that might help.
I think I'm going to get as close as I can because I can't actually access the WebEx browser as it is. Is that a bit better?
That is a bit better.
Okay. So I'm hunched over the microphone now. So I think we can continue from there, okay?
Okay, go for it.
Okay, great. So I'd just like to start talking about what Options Workshop is. So Options Workshop is, as you may have guessed, it's a front-end application. It's used to model and trade options. So we can model them and we can trade them. We take data transports from multiple different sources or single sources. So at the moment, we're integrated with CQG, Interactive Brokers, and IQFeed. And we're currently working on integration with Thinkorswim and Rhythmic, but we haven't got there just yet. So what it means is we take market data and we execute trades all through our software. And you don't need any third-party software. You just need the connection to CQG or Interactive Brokers, or IQC, as I said. Okay? So now that I've said what Options Workshop is, I'll just talk for 2 or 3 minutes about Option Workshop's approach and how we look at things. So as I said, the software allows us to model and trade. So we can model virtual positions, completely fabricated, or we can take real positions and model them into the future as well. And we can do both simultaneously. You can also model changes to real positions or obviously trade. The software is based on portfolios and accounts. So we have we have accounts, then sub-accounts, and strategies. But I'll talk about these in a minute. Finally, I just want to say the Option Workshop is interesting because it deals with P&L in a cool way. We track our P&L, our profit and loss, independently of our data sources. So as well as getting the information from the exchange, we also keep our own separate P&L, So there should be no need for calculating things like settlement at the end of every day. I remember when I was a futures trader, it was a bit of a pain every day to calculate settlement and then see where my positions were. But Options Workshop tracks the P&L over the lifetime of the trade. So if you put a position on a week ago, you can come back, and as long as Options Workshop is connected to the data source, to the data transport, then it'll continue to track the P&L. So it's pretty interesting in that way. Anyway, let's go on to talking a bit more about Options Workshop and how to use it. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Before you start, there was a question. We do have a lot of TOS users or Thinkorswim. Do you have any ETA and when that might be ready, that integration?
Okay. Well, the estimated time of arrival for TOS, so the time when we'll have it ready. At the moment, I don't have any direct. I can't give you a direct date. We're in talks with them. We sent them a couple of emails, but we still have to take things forward in that way. But we know we're treating it as a priority because I've done a bit of research and I've been talking to some users, and they all say that TOS is the most important. It's the crown jewels. So we're definitely trying our best to go for it. Okay?
Okay, sure.
Sure. Okay. So I'll just talk a bit about the interface now. So as you can see here, I've got a few windows up, and I'd just like to start.
I think your microphone might have come loose.
Hello?
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Why is that? I don't know. Can
anybody else listening hear Mike? Oh, sounds okay. Okay, maybe it's mine, so sorry. Just keep going.
Okay, I'll just keep going. Let's hope we can all hear each other. But yeah, so we have a fairly standard selection of windows here, and I'd like to just start by starting at the beginning of your experience. The place to start is on the left-hand panel. We have the instrument tree, where you can select your instruments. And you can select your instruments from, as I've said before, multiple data sources. You can get them from, if you want to trade futures on options, probably CQG, or if you're looking to trade equity options, you can get them from the tracker broker. And if you're looking to trade something, the best way to do so is to just use the search function. And you can get up stuff like a search for Apple. It comes up with the options tree. And I've got the expiries here. And you can trade like that. I like S&P 500. So I'll have a look for this. And you can find your E-mini S&P 500s. Or if you want to do it slow route, you can look it up in the TME, and then you have your list of products. You can find your E-mini S&Ps. And so we have the base assets, which is what the options are based on, and in this case, it's the futures. So I have my 4 futures strike price. So I've got my front month here, and then I've got my September future contract. And actually, you have a number of options. You have a number of things you can do, shall I say, with the futures. So you can bring up the historical chart, or you can bring up the order book, or if you want, you can even execute. Trades with futures. Specified. So I can actually just bring up this historical chart of the futures if I want. It looks a bit nicer for 10 minutes. And so there's a number of options from the instrument tree. Like I said, buy, sell, historical chart. And now, obviously, we're more interested in trading the options. So here we have the options, and we can look at the individual strike prices like this. It's not really how I like to look at the strike prices, and I'll get on to a better method of looking at them in a moment. But before we do that, what can we do here? We can look up the volatility skew of the whole series, and we can do that with any of them. And I'll just try and do that now. Excuse me a moment. And I've got a volatility skew, and I can change the range of how many options we have there. Or what I like to do is I just like to look at the options arranged neatly, which is where we look at the option desk. Here, and we have a cross section of the puts on the right-hand side and the calls on the left-hand side. As you can see, the at the money is highlighted, and we know it's at the money because it's highlighted, but it's also, you can very easily cross-reference it with the actual underlying. So there's the future, trading at 268, 68 and a quarter. What else? Yeah, so if you want, you can change the interface, have 10, have 25. Fairly standard. You can have a look at all of them if you want. Takes a minute to load. So there's a lot of data coming out. Just bear with me for a moment. I don't think there's too much data on the 800 strike, but yeah, we've got everything there. I like to keep it pretty simple, so I look at 10. And if it's too much information for you, you can always change the column presets. So if you only want to see the bid and offer prices, it's easy to do that. Or you can have your own custom presets too, just by selecting things here. So that's pretty much how we look at the options when we like to trade them. But as I said, we like to both trade and model on this platform. And I think one of the real strengths here is we can model things. Now, before I go about modeling a trade, I just want to say a bit about your accounts tab. And it's right here. And this has all of your accounts and sub-accounts. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to organize your trades neatly and in a clear manner. So at the moment, I'm using this account here. And I don't have any trades on, so I have no information. But if I create a new strategy, if say I wanted to buy one at the money call, let's call it, and then I've created a new strategy here, and it's empty. And what I can do now is I can actually model buying a call. And I can do that by dragging, just by clicking and dragging. And it's important to know that what I'm doing here is I'm modeling a trade. I'm not actually making a trade. If I just click it here, it'll go in, and it'll show me my account and my sub-account, and I can buy or I can sell this at the money call. But I've just done that now. But just before I go on to explaining a bit more about accounts, I'd just like to finish off by saying, as well as modeling the accounts by dragging, you can actually buy just by right-clicking and picking up all the things, like getting a historical chart or opening up the order book, see what the bids and offers are. That you can already see them in there. Anyway, so now what I've done is obviously I've bought a call here at the money, and you can see all the information is populated in my sub account. Now look, this buy call is in a completely different section from my test account I made earlier. So it's actually separated them, and this is how Option Workshop is organized. It's organized in order to keep your trades neat and clear from each other. But if you want, you can look at your positions just by adding strategies together. So if I to look at them at the same time, you just hold control and put them together like that. Anyhow, I'd like to go on, and just before I go on, I'd just like to explain that the way we calculate these models is it's basically an average of all of our fills. So for this position, which is open, it's an average of all my fills. Now, obviously, I only have one one fill, so there's no need for an average. But I can look at my fills just by right-clicking Display Fills, or by clicking on the Fills Manager button here. So if I just display fills, let's see this again. I can drag my fills over here. I can just nestle them inside. So I'll leave my fill manager here. And if I, for example, if I buy a second at the money call, let me just see. Yeah, if I buy a second one, you'll see that we have another fill. And here it has all the information for the fills, and it becomes an average of the two prices. Obviously, they're the same price, so it's not going to change anything. But let's say I want to model something else. I'm going to buy a third one, and because I'm modeling it, I can change the price. Let's say I bought it for a lot cheaper, and I'm a lucky guy. And we got the third price, and now we have an average of the three prices here. So this is what I mean when I say that your position is an average of the fill prices. And like I said, because we're modeling, if you want, you can even change. You can change a lot of stuff. You can actually change the price from here, and it'll record the price change too. So we have our different types of our two different types of fills. We have the manual fills, which are the ones we use to model, and then when I change the price here, we get an adjustment fill. So it even records all of the changes you do when you're looking to model them. So that's basically the Option Workshop approach to modeling and changing things. If you want to look at your trades, but also keep in mind if you have actual trades, you can then change your actual trades with manual fills or with adjusted fills. And because it's modeled, it's not going to obviously change your P&L or your position, but it'll show you what you could have. Now, the best way to look at things is obviously not just with numbers, but we like visual representations. So obviously we have charting functionality as well. I made a pretty simple spread on one of my other accounts. There it is. I can just flip over to that, and it's just, you've just got a model of the P&L here. It's pretty simple, but we can also model. I mean, we can also show other things, like if you want to look at the Greeks, we've got those as well. You can just add them in there, or just select them one at a time. I don't know if you're particularly interested in delta representation. We use Black-Scholes model for everything, but if you want, you can change to the other pricing models. And like I said, if you hold Control and click, you can actually, now you can put them together. And if I want a chart representation of these two strategies on top of each other, not an average, but put them on top of each other, I can then click here on the chart. And we get a double representation of the call and the put spread. As you can see, this isn't one position, but this is two separate positions modeled together today and on the day of expiry in June. I think it's easier just to look at one at a time. So there's a lot of interesting charting functionality, and it's we can have a bit of flexibility. What I think is really interesting about the software is when we're modeling things, we don't just model the trades, but we also model we can model things in the future. So we have what-if scenarios. And what-if scenarios allow you to change the price of the base asset, they allow you to change the volatility, and they allow you to change the time. So you can go 10 days into the future, 20 days into the future, or 30 days into the future. Let me just have a look here. So if I want, I can add a what-if scenario. Let me just drag it onto the screen for you. Okay. And I can make a general scenario, and I can create a new scenario, and let's call it plus 20 days. And so what will happen 20 days in the future? You can have it specifically for an asset if you want, or I like to just keep things simple and have a general scenario. And it doesn't do anything at the moment, but let's say I change the day relatively, 10 days, 20 days, I think it was in the future. I can just do that there, and now I've created it here. So it's been created, and then I can select it here. And I think if I just click this button, you can see what it'll look like here. Let me have a look. So this is on the June 17th. So 20 days in the future, you have that there. But like I said, and these things obviously work for not just the P&L, but they work for the groups as well. Just double check that for you. So you can model things with what-if scenarios, and you can change the volatility to. I created one earlier. I think let me just show it to you. You open it. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So like volatility, change it. Change the time. We've got 30 days value. So I think if I put the volatility plus 10%, it's going to be represented in pink, and it's very easy to apply. And that again shows us that today. This is today's date, but with a difference in volatility. And that obviously we don't want to go information overload, but like I said, you can apply it to everything and look at it all at the same time. So
hey Mike, there's a question about that black line. Is it possible to change the colors on those, because the black's kind of hard to see?
You certainly can. I'll change it right now for you. Okay.
Great.
This selection of colors here. Oh, excuse me. Wrong button. Better. Okay. Yeah, I'll just change that now. So that was the 20 and kids in black. Let's change it. I don't know. Let's go for dark blue. Is that okay? Turquoise, dark turquoise is good.
Yeah, we can give it a try.
I think it works. Can you see that? Is that a bit better?
Yeah, usually something light that gives more contrast with the dark background, but that's okay.
That'll do for now. I can change it again if you want. Not a problem.
That's fine.
And
just so we can change it, that's good.
Yeah. So we've got these what-if scenarios. So it's for for modeling in the future, and also So I think that's what-if scenarios. Also, we also have some additional features that I can talk about a bit, but I'm not going to demonstrate. So we have we have a delta hedger, which automatically hedges delta depending on the range you give it. So if you say you want to hedge delta between, like, I don't know, 40 and any other range, I don't know a good range for delta, then what it'll do is whenever the delta changes out of the range, it'll automatically buy, it'll automatically hedge you with the base asset. And we have a market maker functionality, which does what it says on the box. It puts in bids and offers at any increment you want. But at the moment, I'm not ready to go into too much detail about those. So I mean, right now we're updating the software quite often. In the most recent updates, we made the charting functionality like 10 times more accurate. So it's like 10 times as representative. I think I've gone on for long enough. That's pretty much it for the moment. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to fire away, and I'll be sure to try my best to answer them. If that's okay.
David asked if you've gotten any backtesting features in yet.
Yeah. So it's been very popular. People are asking about backtesting. Really, we are looking more. We are going to try to do backtesting, but it's lower down on the priority list. We're really looking more to like forward testing, like Monte Carlo stuff. We're going to try and implement stuff like that, really, because although I know backtesting is very important to see, historical models. We're trying to prioritize like forward testing, like Monte Carlo simulations and stuff like that. But again, it's not really. We don't have any definitive dates on that yet. I mean, we're still trying to make sure that the intuitiveness of the software is good, and what we're really looking for is feedback. And if you guys are ever using it, feel free to always just click the help button and contact support, or if you want, just contact me on my email, michael@optionworkshop.net, or obviously we've got the thread in the Capital Discussion Forums website, and I'm very happy to talk to you guys. So we're at that point where we still really want a lot of user feedback, and because of that, obviously at the moment the software is free, 30-day free trial. But because we're looking for user feedback, if you use it for 30 days and like it, you can always use it again, and we can just renew it. So you can basically just renew your license indefinitely at this point.
There was a question, can you build a trade over time that shows the current P&L based on closed adjustments and open positions?
Let me. When you say closed adjustments, do you mean like a modeled adjustment?
Well, let's say you have a butterfly trade on and the market goes up or down, and you make some tweak to that trade. Maybe you close part of the butterfly that's already existing, or you add other pieces on. Does it keep track of that net P&L of your position, including all the adjustments you've made?
We can do that. But what you have to do is you have to use it, like if you're going in the future, you have to use the what if scenarios, and you have to just adjust the trade. So if you're going to add to it, you have to pull in another. So if you're going to add the adjustment, you have to pull in the next model trade into the chart. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
I think so.
So
yeah,
I can do this now. It'll look a bit odd. I'm just gonna let me just see.
Well, just for an example, say you had a 5-lot butterfly on and the market was going up, so you decided to take one of the vertical spreads off on the higher part of the upper part of the butterfly. So you're closing part of the butterfly, but it's just part of your bigger picture trade. So to keep track of that closed vertical in the bigger picture of the butterfly.
You know what? I can't really grasp what you're saying. You mean like you want to de-risk on the butterfly, right? Because you're on side?
Yeah, you want to take some risk off on the upside, so you're closing part of the upper part of the butterfly to raise up that P&L line and just change the risk profile of the trade. But you've essentially closed part of the butterfly at that point. So your modeling needs to keep that into account, and as far as, how does the trade look, including that adjustment I've made.
And that's for the P&L, right?
Yeah, for the whole P&L today and the modeling,
sure, yeah.
right? Yeah.
You know what? I've never tried to do that, to be honest with you. But I can only think to say that if you can take it off here, then it'll be represented in the on the model trade. But what I can do is, excuse me. What I can do is I can answer that question more fully after the presentation and get back to you guys with that, if that's okay.
Oh, sure. Right? Yep, no problem. We do have some more questions. Greg asks, what are you trying to do that Option View or OptionNet Explorer doesn't do right now? I see one thing already where you can put trades in, so it's connected more intimately to Interactive Brokers, for instance, because Option View just displays price data, but you can't execute trades. But what other features are you trying to bring to the market, essentially?
Okay, well, thanks for putting that in, for mentioning that. That's right. We differentiate from Option View, and that we connect directly, as you said. Well, I mean, we give the delta hedger, we give the market maker, as I've mentioned earlier. You can hedge delta automatically without having to just put in the parameters. You can use market maker. But what is key to note is that we're really actively trying to develop the software, and we're really looking for feedback. Obviously, I can give you a motivational speech and say we're trying to be the best there is, and we're new to the market, but we really are trying to keep the users happy. I know Option View is standard software, but I think we're really taking seriously what our users think and what they want from us, and we are going to try our best to react to those things. Does that make sense?
Yep. Barry asked, as far as like working with data from Interactive Brokers, both Option View and OptionNet Explorer struggle with it. He had to increase his number. He had to get a quote boost or increase the number of connections. How does your data? Is it laggy at all with IB or pretty responsive?
It's all right. What you have to understand is we're connecting. It's true we're connecting through IB's infrastructure, and or with CQG's infrastructure or with IQC's infrastructure. But we're connecting directly through them in the same way that Option View would do. I mean, our software is efficient. I don't know how I've never made a direct comparison so far with Option View, for example, but we use the same infrastructure that they do. If that answers your question.
Okay, and Randy asked, where can we try the software?
Oh, of course.
I'm sure there's a link. Yep.
Sure. Did I add the link?
Yeah, or you can paste the link in the chat, maybe.
You know what? I don't have, I can't actually see the chat. I'm going to try and write something here, but I hope this works. Can you see that?
Oh, Pavel says optionworkshop.net.
Yeah, I think I've.
Yeah,
You see mine?
Pavel got it in the chat, so that's where the URL is.
Yeah, so you can try it there. Like I said, 30-day free trial, but it's indefinite. So after 30 days, just renew it for free again.
Mike asked, can you also see historical trades from IB and build a model based on those?
Like I said, we're at the moment we're more interested in trades into the future, so like Monte Carlo stuff. But we will go there. But I'm not going to lie, it's not the top priority historical retroactive trade testing. At the moment, we're looking trade testing into the future more.
Okay, and then Anthony asked, what will the cost be? Do you have a price yet for when you will start charging and when you might think that might start?
Well, when we feel it's up to standard, when we feel it's excellent, I think it's going to be cheaper than the alternatives. I think we're thinking about $50 a month, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. We haven't finalized on that. But I remember when I was trading, as a professional trader, I paid like $5,500 a month, but that was for professional stuff. But I also used proprietary stuff. I used eSignal for a while. Are you familiar with those guys?
Yeah, I've used eSignal in the past myself.
Yeah, I mean they charge like $50 for the basic, but they don't give any frills for that. We're aiming to be.
Well, for option data, I think I was paying over $200 a month for eSignal, so I couldn't justify that.
There you go. I remember one day an eSignal salesman came into our futures exchange, and he was really pushy. I'm not going to name any names, but I had a bad experience with him. But like I said, we're aiming to be very reasonably priced. But again, at the moment, we're just indefinite demos, indefinite free trials. But
another question.
Yeah.
Another question is, what kind of instruments can be traded and analyzed with Option Workshop? Equity options, futures options, is it U.S. based only? I know we have quite a few people in Europe that would love to trade like the Euro Stoxx 50 and the DAX.
Oh man, I used to love trading. Actually, I didn't trade the Euro Stoxx, but I traded the Bund, which is a very similar product. And it was obviously the bond. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so you can trade everything. Look, CME has all the US based stuff. We're trying to add life at the moment. So adding life is I think the Euro Stoxx is traded on life. Isn't that right?
Could be. I know I looked up DAX the other day. That was on, was it Euronet or something like it? It was Euro something.
Oh yeah, because they merged a few years ago. NYSE and Eurex, right?
Eurex, that's it. Yeah.
Eurex, yeah. Because I used to trade in Eurex as well. But we do it by exchange. If you can connect to it via CQG, which you can, then you will be able to connect to it through Option Workshop. At the moment, we don't have Life or Eurex, but we can add them, I think, with relative ease because, like I said, it comes via the CPG network or obviously via the IB network. If you're trading through interactive brokers, that's where you're going to get your equity options. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's one thing that OptionView I know doesn't really do well, or OptionNet is non-U.S. instruments. So that could be a nice benefit of using your program if you want to trade those non-U.S. products.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I should mention one more thing. If you're trading through CQG, as I am, you can get a demo account for free from CQG very easily via our software, just by requesting a demo account. That'll be good for a week. Or if you want to have your own connection, private connection to CQG, you can just ask your broker-dealer or your ECN, and they'll get you that for a charge of $25 a month. But again, it's your choice to request. You can either request your own demo, which you'll have to renew every week, which is a bit cumbersome, or like us, you can have your own dedicated connection to CPG, as we have here, and that's $25 a month. So it's your choice, but you don't need to pay. But I mean, if you want to do some modeling, I would recommend it.
Right. Well, I think that's it for the questions. Any last things you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
Oh, just what I said before, that we've just started releasing this to the wider public, and we're in the phase where we are really looking for a few people to try it out and give us your feedback. And we really are we're really happy to listen to our users, and we're just looking for feedback at the moment. So I'm really grateful for you guys giving me a platform to talk about the software. And again, I can remind you that if you have any more questions, email me, or even better, go for it on the Capital Discussion forums. Okay?
Great. All right. Well, really appreciate taking a look under the hood and see what you've got, Mike. And it's always nice to see new alternatives coming into the market. So I wish you guys well, and hopefully our feedback can help make your product even more robust.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and best of luck. Okay? Take care.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Right,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.